Vow to your creativity and tune into the Voice of Woe podcast.
What's going on, guys? We are back with episode 2 of the Voice of Woe podcast. I am your host, the Thrillmonger, Andy Bivians, and thank you so much again for joining us and listening to us. I hope you enjoyed episode 1, just starting and just getting it done no matter what you got, and I hope you enjoy this episode 2. Episode 2, we're going to be working from the resource guide that you can find at studiowoe.com/creative-rebirth. You can get it's completely free. Go to the website, get your resource guide if you want to follow along. If not, we're doing the episodes here, so I'm going to be talking a little more in depth with the resource guide and the principles and teachings behind it. So today is going to be part 1 on understanding the myths of having a positive mindset and the myths of being stuck in a negative mindset. And today's myth is going to be myth number 1. You need dramatic rah-rah activities to change your mindset. Many believe that only dramatic changes can transform a mindset. In reality, small, consistent actions often lead to the most profound changes. So I started thinking about that, and I realized that a lot of times, every year, right? You get to the end of the year, and you have your New Year's resolutions, and your New Year, New Me, and people want to stack so much positive greatness that they want to get done. It's amazing. But what happens? They go into that new year with so much energy, but they overwhelm themselves because they start putting so much pressure on themselves, right? Oh, I want to lose X amount of weight, and I want to get up and I want to start running a 5K when they haven't ran before. Maybe they only ran a mile or two, and they put so much pressure on themselves. And sometimes they feel like they need to be motivated, or you need to get up and do something to be able to complete that goal. I know for me, that's happened for me a lot, especially with this project that I'm doing right now. Just with the podcast alone and trying to get out other good stuff and good content to you guys. I felt like I needed to have that moment, that major power up where I can get all of this done right here, right now. And then the next day you realize that all the stuff you need to do just keeps piling up, right? And for me, I love reading. I love reading. I love learning new things. I love getting new tidbits here and there from different books and different people and different self-help authors, right? And there's one book, and it's called Level Up Your Life by Steve Cam. And I got this idea, I learned this idea from him. It's like South Park's underwear gnomes, right? We're going to work. We're going to collect all the underpants, right? Collect all the underpants. Well, okay, what do you do after you get them? Well, we collect all the underpants. Okay. It's the same thing that what we do in our lives. We have these big, illustrious goals, which is amazing. But we feel like we need to read more. We need to learn more. And we do. We do need to read and we do need to learn more, but we can't just stay stuck in that time period or that space, right? We got to take what we read or we learn and apply it to life, right? A lot of people say like, this doesn't work, that doesn't work. I'm just going to go over here and I'm going to read this next book. I'm just going to go over here. I'm going to get this next course. I'm just going to go over here and I'm going to listen to a new podcast, right? And yes, it's helpful. Yes, learning tidbits here and there are helpful, but you got to pick at least 2 and get started today, right? It's those small, tiny wins that we get that help put us in a better mood, that help stabilize our mindset for a better day. I know, like for me, I started doing a morning routine, and it was small, minute things that may not be big to everybody else or may not even be important or powerful to everybody else. But for me, they were big, major things. And it was as small as, I woke up today before 7 a.m. That's a win. You wake up, you go brush your teeth. I brushed my teeth today. That's a win. Okay, I just ate breakfast today. Oh, that's a win, right? And even though they're not big, gigantic wins or anything like that, but you start stacking those wins in your mind. You start stacking your habits in your mind that now your mind sees, yeah, I did some cool stuff today. I was able to build to that, build to those things. And when we have certain goals or certain ideas that we want to accomplish or that we want to hit, we got to break them down into smaller daily tasks, right? What can I do right now that pushes me forward towards my goal? It can be as simple as calling somebody to set something up or setting up a plan and putting in a date, right? Setting something concrete. Um, I know a lot of people, they go to motivational conferences and you get pumped up, right? You're fired up. You can run through a brick wall, right? When you're there, you're around so many different motivational and influential people that you just want to, I can do this right now. But then all of a sudden they come home and they start getting into their routine habits, and next thing you know, they start doubting themselves again, right? That inner voice starts talking to them. Man, who are you kidding? You ain't smart enough to do this. You ain't strong enough. Man, who's gonna listen to you? And that was me. I used to go to motivational conferences or um, conferences that made me feel like I had a bigger, powerful impact, right? I could run through a brick wall. My state, my physiology changed. I was fucking Superman, right? And then I get home and I'm fired up for like a week, but then, life starts hitting you. People with different perspectives start hitting you. And slowly but surely it starts breaking you down little by little. But then I learned when you're in that state, when you're in that powerful mindset, that's the state to set something and take action right then and there, right? Like Yoda says, do or do not. There is no try. You got to put the action in. You got to push forward, and you got to just keep pushing forward on the small little minute things. What can I do today? What can I do right now so that way it keeps me on the right path, on the right flow, the right state that keeps me in the right mindset to accomplish that big goal that I set out to accomplish. Our brain loves consistency and loves when we have that daily regimen, right? And it's the consistency. It's the same thing that we put in, day out, over and over again that reaches us to that goal that we look for. And so those are my thoughts on that myth. I actually, if you go down, I'll put it in the description. Um, there's some actionable stuff that we can do daily that we can make sure that we're staying on the right task, that we're make sure that we're staying on the right goal. I'm going to put the link in the description so that way you guys can print it out and you guys can do the worksheets along every day if you want to. So that way you're taking the steps that you need to get to your next goal, right? You have a daily habit tracker. Write down the habits that you're doing, right? And at the end of the day, you can feel like, man, I felt off today. I wonder why I felt off today. And you can go back and look, oh man, I didn't do this. Let's try to put that back into the routine, right? Or maybe something didn't work and you did something that you added to the habit and you're like, you know what? That didn't fit well with me, right? That didn't sit well. And you can remove that and replace it for something different. Also, there's a gratitude journal, right? We got to celebrate ourselves. We got to celebrate those small wins. Yeah, waking up before 7 a.m. isn't like anything big to most people because they're up or going to work or whatever. But if that's big for you, celebrate yourself, right? You deserve the celebration. You deserve the praise just as much as anybody else out here. And if you're not going to be over for you, if you're not going to put yourself over and praise yourself, who's going to praise you, right? You got to be your biggest fan. Yeah, you got fans out there, but nobody's going to cheer as loud for you as you are. So you got a daily gratitude journal. What are you grateful for today? What do you love about today? What are you grateful to have in your life? I know for me, I'm grateful to have the opportunity, even as small equipment as I have, to be able to reach out and hopefully talk to one person with this video. I'm grateful that I still have breath and air in my lungs every single day. I thank God that I woke up today, right? I'm happy that I'm able to still have that mindset of pushing forward and trying to help somebody. And I'm grateful for you guys for rocking with me and supporting me and watching and or listening, whichever one you're doing, to the Voice of Will podcast. That's what I'm grateful about. When I think about that, man, it brings me so much happiness and joy. I'm telling you. So what are you grateful about? What are you grateful for? Put it in the comments. Let me hear. I would love to read those and see what you guys are grateful for. And another one is a weekly reflection. What happened today, right? Or what happened this week, I should say. What happened this week? What are you grateful about this week? What worked and didn't work this week? What can you change that you did this week to make next week 10 times better? Right? It's all about working and getting prepared, right? And then you can see the stuff that did work and go next week and then do it even better. And now you're grateful for that, right? I love it. And I'm also going to add at the end, in the description, there's a priming exercise that Tony Robbins does all the time that I absolutely love. And whenever you're in a bad mindset, they always say, you want to change your physiology. When you change your physiology and you change your state, it changes your perspective, right? You can't be grateful and upset at the same time. And when I find myself in a low vibration or a low energy state, I do this for 15 minutes and I'm instantly in a better mood. I feel better. I feel alive. I can look at a problem that I couldn't solve in a different light, right? Because we can't solve problems asking the same questions. We got to look at it from a different perspective. We got to pull ourselves out of our body to see it in a different perspective. And I love waking up every morning and doing this priming exercise because I want to prime my mind before the world primes my mind, right? I don't want the world to tell me how I should feel every day or wake up thinking about all the problems that I have to put out and all the fires I have to put out within the day. I want to prime my mind for gratitude. I want to prime my mind for love. I want to prime my mind so that way I'm able to serve you guys and give you guys the best podcast episode or the best content or the best tools that I possibly can. Like, we're all creative minds out there. And we all want to do more with our lives and more in our own worlds. And we all want to be happier, right? We want to have more joy in our life. So that's what I want to produce for everybody else. So once again, thank you so much for rocking with me and listening to episode 2 or watching episode 2. Again, if you want to follow along with the resource guide, it's at studiowoe.com/creative rebirth. And you can download the resource guide right there. I'll have a link in the description so you can click the link and you can get the tools so that way you can start doing your daily habit tracker, you can start doing your weekly tracker, and you can start doing your gratitude list. So that way we can start getting you in the right stages for a positive mindset. If you don't do anything else, please make a vow to your creativity. And let's pull back that hero out in us. Please like and subscribe. I love you all. I'll see you in the next one.
Whoa, it's dead. If we got